Hello, Voltron fans, and welcome back to the AFTERBUZZ TV Voltron After Show. Guys, we have the Season 2 finale, and we have a lot of things to talk about and some very special people to do it with. So stick with us after the opening, and team, it's time to form Voltron.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I haven't heard this song in about 15 years.
I have it on my iTunes and I adore it. And for those of you who are wondering, it's called Invisible Man.
Sure.
Because I'm not a good person.
No, you're not. It's terrible. Just kidding. It's a
For the record, though, Mark Donica, are you listening? Are you on a microphone? Do you want to tell?
I'm on a microphone.
Do you want to tell people what you had initially queued up for this?
I queued up Metallica's Fade to Black.
Right. Also, Mark is a great person.
Very and my other option was Blackout by Breathe Carolina, which is
we already had like stuff already
falling
like
inside
up.
the black.
Look at you.
Good Lord, puns and everything. Welcome to the Voltron After Show, y'all. We are looking at Season 2, Episode 13, Blackout, because puns for days.
Always.
With me, of course, I have Red Lion, Emma Fyffe.
That's me. I'm Emma Fyffe. I can be found all over the internet at that very name, Emma Fyffe, because it is mine.
Blue Lion, Alexis Torres.
Hello, everyone. You can find me all over social media at atorres890. How to do it.
Green Line, Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, I'll be over here jamming out to my 8th grade soundtrack.
Thank you for you've just dated us all.
But you guys, in the meantime, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I am Black Lion, Katie Cullen. People said Black Lady, and that is not correct.
It's a different show.
Yeah, I am Black Lion, Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. We have the hashtag ABTV Voltron. We have the live chat. Emma's keeping an eye on that for us. If you have anything fun to say, if you have any questions for our guests, throw them in the hashtag, throw them in the live chat. You may well get a shout out. And we have two fantastic people with us tonight. We have co-executive producer Lauren Montgomery.
Yay!
And executive producer Joaquim Dos Santos.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So happy that you guys are here.
I was like, okay, I know we're supposed to talk about Voltron, but like, can we just like talk about Avatar and Korra?
No, because we have like an hour and that's it.
But do you think people would notice? Like,
Little bit. Thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks for a crazy season. Thanks for the show.
Yeah,
just all
of the stuff.
Well,
Thanks for watching it. I mean, we do it so that
Yeah.
people watch it. If they don't watch it, then we'd be killing ourselves for no reason. That would be kind of pointless.
And honestly, we're just stoked that like this happens for the show. It's crazy. It's absolute madness that it happens.
Yeah, we've gotten like such a great response from fans this season. We always get a really good turnout for the live chat. Like I had somebody tweet at me today. It was Galra Keith on Twitter. Tweeted at me and was like, "Hey Emma, I'm sorry if it's not okay to ask this." Which please always tweet at me and ask me things. It's always fine to ask. And they're like, "Do you have a guest on the AfterBuzz Voltron show tonight?" It was like, we have a couple actually. And he was like, "All right, well I'm in the UK. I'm just gonna stay up till 5 a.m. It's fine."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Now the question is, are they in the chat right now?
I mean,
if you are, say hi.
Yeah, I think people were discussing what time it was in their zone.
Yeah.
Some people were saying 3 a.m., 5 a.m.
You know what? For this is
guys.
a great time if you are in Australia, apparently. But other than that, it can be a little challenging.
Well, it's 9:15 p.m. Pacific time, which is where we live, and we should talk about this episode, you guys.
Yes, please.
Yes.
You know, so
On
it's really
Gundam fight.
It's really great.
Okay.
With that with how well everything went in the last episode, everything was gonna go really well in this one, right?
Yeah, it's just within the first 2 minutes we have, this is the end of Zarkon's reign, and I'm like, no, you got 20 minutes left in the episode. It's not gonna be that easy.
Nope, Honey Bunch is a nope. That's
And
not
I
how
love
this
that-
works.
I love that no one accounted for magic. No one accounted for the planet juice extractor, and yet here we are.
Well, I feel like it was just because anytime we saw magic, it was usually, on Zarkon's base. We didn't really get to, actually have to deal with it firsthand, and now it's like, oh, hey, look, we forgot about this twist.
But the planet Marmora, vaguely knew that they were developing this horrifying super weapon but the conversation just never came up.
Yeah, okay.
But those guys are notoriously tight-lipped. They're
Yeah.
just like,
True.
That is
tight.
true. No,
But
the
if it
Blade
would
of
be-
Marmora people, that's very accurate.
They like their cryptic talk for
Yeah.
sure.
But if it would be something that would throw off this mission that they have very carefully planned and were willing to completely abort because one thing wasn't exactly aligned in place, you'd think it would come up in the
I
conversation.
think maybe they didn't recognize that it would be weaponized also. So I
Yeah,
think,
that
you know,
makes
it had a
sense.
very, you know, specific purpose to draw the quintessence out of planets.
And we never expect them to be more evil than expected, right?
Well,
Like above and beyond for the evil, the dumpster fire is spreading.
To be fair, though, how well can you really account for space magic? Especially with what we find out later in the episode, there really wasn't a way to kind of predict that, from their end anyway.
Yeah, you know what? We're there. We're doing this. Let's talk about this. Hagar's Altean?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
So awesome that happened. I love it. I have so many thoughts and
And
questions.
I've been trying to figure out,
sinking into your seat.
I've been
sure
trying
the
to
seat
figure
isn't
out
actually
Allura being able to randomly adapt to tainted quintessence / the Hagar space magic. And I guess it's because she's also Altean? Question mark?
Bigger, maybe a bigger universe out there. Maybe there's something bigger at hand beyond being Altean.
Magic space princess powers. Gotcha.
It's been 10,000 years. A lot of things have changed.
I was gonna say, from my perspective, she just automatically, in her moment of need, gained the ability to make force fields.
Yep.
With
and I'm-
Super Saiyan.
And I'm cool with that.
I think she was just as surprised as anybody watching.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah,
expression was like,
exactly.
"What just happened?" here?"
Yeah, totally.
I feel like it was a very very Sailor Moon thing. Like just when you need
Yeah.
it, a magical ability
Exactly.
will manifest itself, and it's awesome. And you vanquish your foes with it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Magical space princess.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and this is
She
right
is.
after she takes this blast of energy right after we watched another Galra take it to the chest and go down DBZ style. So
I was kind of I was kind of anticipating that guy was gonna stick around a little longer. Apparently not.
Yeah, I was
No.
with you. I was with you, Megan. I definitely had a moment of, oh, yep, that's right. They kill people on this show. And
That's not good because within 2 episodes we've gotten 2 named characters and they've been axed.
Yeah. The Marmorans kind of, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They sort of sacrifice themselves for the greater good.
hi.
Hey!
Surprise! We have a third guest.
Yeah.
Bex is back, y'all.
I like that shirt, Bex. That's really cute.
I need that shirt in my life.
Yes, I want it now.
I found it online and I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, it's cute.
Thing.
That's awesome. Wow.
I wore it for Space Dad's birthday.
Incredible.
Bex Taylor-Klaus, the voice of Pidge. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
And also we would love to thank you for what happened last week.
Oh my god.
Personally.
He texted me today. He said I have to do It's Not Easy Being Green. And we went through a whole list of what each person has to do for their character.
We'll save some time at the end.
I'm scared.
I mean, someone went full throttle and edited his vocals over that, made an AMV. It was amazing.
Seriously?
Like,
It was
you
fantastic.
guys.
Neil, if you're watching, thank you again. That was so incredibly entertaining and hilarious. It was fantastic.
Well, and Josh said he was watching tonight, so hi, friend.
Yay! Also, Neil is one of the most entertaining humans I've ever met
Really
in my
is.
life.
Yeah.
So,
It's almost intimidating how funny it is.
yes.
Everyone we've had on for this show has just been there like 1,000%. I think we've had one episode that hasn't had a guest. And then everyone else has just been you guys tearing it up, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate to have an awesome cast and just an awesome crew.
Yeah. And Neil, you know, when we first heard his voice in the auditions, we were like, oh my God, this guy's huge. He's a massive man. We were like, hey, Neil. Nice to meet you. He was like, what's up, dude? How's it going? Crazy.
Just, yeah, he walked in the studio, and I was like, you know, I've only seen your Twitter icon, and it's Zarkon. So you're wearing purple. You came color-coded.
Yeah, the first time we had him, I think we had like a big recording like early on, and there were a bunch of execs that came in because they all came to see like the first recording with all the paladins. And some people, there wasn't enough room in the room, so some people were sitting on the floor and they weren't actually looking at what was happening in the voice booth. And then Zarkon spoke for the first time, I remember Margie, like the head of DreamWorks, just like kind of jumping. Like, oh my god, it was so much bass.
Yeah, because you don't expect that voice to come out of that person.
Yeah.
It's all about that bass. No trouble.
No Gala?
Well, this is going to be one of those shows.
I'm just gonna have
We're
songs.
already
We're just gonna
there.
have like an
Already
AFTERBUZZ
there.
after show song list of just stuff that we're covering from the voice
We're
actors.
all going to do karaoke afterwards, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can just go right down to the Moonlight Goodnight whatever bar.
Sardo's is open. Sardo's is always open.
Stardust is always open.
Just don't go on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So back to this episode,
Yes.
like, kind of
This
going
episode,
in.
we're talking about this?
Yeah.
That is just, believe it or not, that is the point of the after show, is to talk about the show. No, I've encountered people who are very confused as to what we're doing here.
Right. In the series finale of Legend of Korra, I'm just kidding.
Like 2.5 years ago, you weren't there. I was on that panel.
You don't know.
I feel like I have to just tease whoever wrote on the board because I don't know what that word says, but it looks like it says condom fight.
Guns are fighting.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I see the
my
condom fight.
handwriting is great.
Spot on.
We're keeping this G-rated.
I'll be sure to take a picture.
Oh, we're gonna be explicit on iTunes, Bex. Thanks. My bad.
We already are. We use the explicit version of the opening song.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Let the
Yeah.
F-bombs fly.
I'll take a picture of my notes and put them on Twitter if anyone wants them. My notes that I took while I was watching this episode are absolutely not work safe, but that's half the fun of watching
They
this.
never are, though, right?
No, they never are. They're stream of consciousness and all caps lock.
Right, but there was, okay, so as we say, there was a magic fight and there was a space fight. It was not a condom fight, but it was
Gundam fight.
very reminiscent of a Gundam fight.
I mean, show a little your shirt here.
Right, so I was feeling inspired, so I have on, I don't know if I can get an angle that people can see.
And the swap shirt.
For you guys listening on iTunes.
Even though, so I
It's
believe
Gundam
it was
Wing.
James
It's
in the
gorgeous.
chat said like, oh, you know, Zarkon got his very own Wing Zero. No, he didn't. It was totally Epion. It had a whip like Epion did.
You know what? And we
it's
referenced Epion a ton.
Yeah.
We did. Like, I remember bringing out the toy and just, like, looking
Yeah.
at it and being like, this is the guy.
Dude,
Check
that
it out.
model kit, the most current model kits of Epion are sick. That's why.
That chain sword, though.
Yeah,
dear
no,
God.
yeah.
I actually went full Soul Calibur on that one.
Yeah, see, that's what
Totally.
I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
Oh,
100%.
Soul Calibur.
So when does the toy for Zarkon's mech suit come out? 'Cause
Exactly.
I didn't want that.
Not
Change
fast
it.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Also, for me,
That was at the toy fair.
I
For
don't
his
know.
mech suit?
No,
for
just
the mecha
the
suit.
Zarkon little...
Little Zarkon.
Yeah, little
Zarkon.
Zarkon. Yeah, not the
But
mech suit.
not
Which
the mech suit.
lasted for a
Either
whole
way, I'll take
15-minute
both.
fight and then got wrecked. Like,
Yeah.
man, that's what happens when you drive the prototype. You're lucky you lived.
So, no, but just in regards to the like mobile suit that he got, he kept talking about how they were making him this armor. It did not cross my mind that it was going to be like a mobile suit. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, it's like a
Kind of
suit
like
of armor.
He'll go out like a knight.
Yeah.
Well, and you brought up the
walk
fate
it
of
out
the
there.
original Zarkon.
Yeah, I thought this was a nice way to sort of give a nod to that because in the original series he actually does become a Robeast, and here it's far. I like this better because he's not. The way that Robeasts are made is clearly
They die.
horror-inducing.
Right.
So it makes sense that he would give himself like a little cockpit and make sure like, hey, I'm not gonna die.
Did you notice
When
that it incorporated the Bayard?
Yeah.
It did.
Like I
I
noticed.
think the idea is that he's trying to force the Voltron situation to happen again, and it just time after time it
You
probably
can't
wasn't
force it.
working.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah,
let
you
it
just-
go, man.
exactly.
Can't make fetch happen.
And speaking of incorporating the Bayard, I apologize, James. He said that the Black Lion went all Wing Zero, which
Oh, yeah.
it did.
Oh,
No,
it absolutely
correct.
did.
So,
Correct.
I'm sorry, James. You're right. And Zarkon's Gundam is Epion. Basically. It's even the same color, you guys.
So what other influences went into Zarkon's armor? Like, how did the development for that come about?
Gosh, I'm blanking on the name. What's the name of that bug anime?
Bug.
Bug anime.
There's a lot of them.
Orgus?
Dunbine.
Oh, Dunbine.
Dunbine.
Yeah.
There's one, and I'm blanking on like the actual suit. I want to say it's like Darth or Sparth or Barth or
I think it was
something.
Sparth.
No, that's the artist.
Oh, that's
guy.
the artist that we
We talk a language
Yeah.
that not many can understand. But he had this really black armor, and he had these huge wings with these like awesome vents in them. And I remember bringing the toy in to Christine, who ends up, or I think Christy actually ended up designing him, and Christine is in the same room, and Christine brings death to her toys because she likes to take them apart and understand.
She studies them like a Frankenstein.
Oh, I love her.
Anytime I lend her something, I say, "Do not break this, Christine. I need him back in one piece." And she's like, "I promise, Lauren.
I used to do that with computers. It drove my dad crazy.
She's got like a drawer of death.
Yeah, a little bit.
She's what's his name from the freaking Sid from Toy Story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She literally has a drawer of just death.
Like she currently has 2 plastic cups with like legs in them. Like she's like, okay, I took them apart. He goes in a cup. There's a cup of this guy, and then there's a cup of this guy.
Oh, I want to be friends with her.
I'm picturing a mad scientist's garage, like in her abode, and just like random lightning flashing every time she puts in a new cup. Like
to Robots in Disguise and all those heads in jars.
Yeah.
That episode.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, clearly.
It also reminded me, this guy, a little bit the way it was operated of Escaflowne, because
Yes.
You know, it's all in full. All of it.
Oh my god,
it's a big love letter.
I loved it because to me, like, because I love mecha anime, and so it really was like just such a delight to see all these different like mecha that I liked incorporated into this one mobile suit. And
then Evangelion is all the
Totally.
Yeah, I'm expecting Robies to get even more screwed up from here on in.
Oh, but it's gonna be
even
so
more
good,
terrifying.
I don't know.
I know,
maybe,
but
maybe a different approach is required. Well, we don't know.
Everyone just crickets from the couch.
Good. We don't want
we live our
spoilers.
life.
Yeah. Be surprised.
So we have a magical knockdown drag out going on inside in order to prevent the planet juice extractor from firing again, because they almost did. I thought that was gonna kill someone.
Yeah, for sure.
I was so sure, like, this is how they die, y'all. Season 3 isn't confirmed yet.
Yeah, had they not been in Voltron, they may have died.
Yeah.
But luckily, Voltron is amazing.
Therefore. And so the quintessence was sucked out of Voltron, and they were okay. But then, because they've now bonded so magically with their life, like, it's like the thing that I like
power
is
of friendship.
All I got from that was, you are filled with determination.
That's what quintessence really is. It's just pure determination.
We had a full-on Undertale moment and went, but it refused. You know?
Do what
This
I
is where
would
we
do.
live now.
Believe in you.
Oh,
God. What's happening? Wasn't ready for this.
I think we're just having an emotional amalgamate here, and we're all just gonna lie down and die.
Don't use that word.
Oh, amalgamation's what I'm going for, and I went the full Undertale route, and it's messed up. What are you okay?
You guys are making quintessence right now.
No,
That's
it's
what's
okay.
happening.
You're not alone. Corinne in the
Hashtag
chat.
making quintessence.
Corinne in the chat said that she cried really hard when she saw them like not quite in their seats after they all like got attacked.
Oh,
My
Such a
question-
beautiful sequence.
It is. It's a beautiful sequence. However, I think that they should consider installing seatbelts.
They got the magnetic butt seat.
They got magnets in their butts. We just worked on
The actual process?
That's a technical term. Yeah.
It's, you know, when they went into the castle and it scanned them, it was just
Like, oh, butt magnet.
magnet. There you go.
That explains
Good
everything.
to go.
Perfect.
Done.
But
Yeah.
I was gonna make a magnetic personality joke, but I like that.
That would be better.
But we've literally worked on so many shows where it's always like seatbelts.
It was for like kid safety,
It's
so
the most
anytime
annoying
anybody's
thing because
driving.
you got to draw this big line, and then they've got like a buckle, and it just looks awful.
Yeah.
And we're like, can we just make it like Star Trek? They don't have to wear seatbelts. And that's what you have to tell them, because they'll be like, no, they have to wear seatbelts. We're like, no, it's like Star Trek. It's super like, it's
Hashtag
chill.
butt magnets.
They just kind of
Hashtag butt
float
magnets.
around. It's good. And they're like, okay. And then, you know, they get thrown around. And,
Yeah.
But, like, they didn't call us on
You
it.
hit them
so.
with the Star Trek stick, magnets, you're good.
And that's how you know things are really serious, because the gravity goes off.
That's it.
And we had that
Yeah.
multiple times this episode.
Yeah, it's
Slavin in Zero Gravity is just the best.
Oh
Did
my
you guys
God.
notice the mice
That was
too?
my
Like the
favorite.
mice took a little loop.
Yes. My favorite moment. I mean, and I loved this episode. The space battles were amazing, but literally my favorite part of the episode was when Slav pried the door open in the castle and is like, "Did we win yet?"
I'm assuming that everything is okay. Oh, friend.
He's already gone. Do you think the way that like this scenario actually played out, do you think he brought that up as a statistical possibility, or was he just like, yeah, no, there's no way that like there's no way we're succeeding, period?
I think he knows. He's got like, all right, there's like 2 versions where we succeed. Maybe this is one of those.
Yeah. if we're not dead yet, maybe we won.
Yeah. Maybe he got
We've
so
gotten this
excited.
far.
Yeah.
He got so excited, Mark?
Yeah, he maybe got so excited in the aspect of battles that he forgot any sort of possibility that there might have been.
That was what my suggestion was.
I just think if he's so far in denial, he's taken up residence in Egypt.
You think so?
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe.
I hate
That's kind of where you have to live when you can see all that.
Someone's taking a shot for the pun.
People had better be. We're up to 2. Egypt and magnetic personalities. Come on, y'all. Keep up.
Yeah.
Make your sendak on ice and let's do this.
Sweet Christmas.
We should talk about this.
Voltron drinks.
I believe they've created it.
Somebody made a drinking game.
I need to. There's
No, but like Voltron concoctions.
Oh, I need to
Somebody
actually.
create a cocktail list?
I need to put out my
want
sendak
that.
on ice recipe. Like I haven't actually put that online yet, but there is a recipe and it involves purple sparkly liqueur. I kid you not.
I'll make a graphic for it.
Yeah.
Cool. I will take pictures and show. I'll make one tonight.
I have to find it, but somebody DM'd me a picture of like Alexis's tears, like it's like a drink for like the
Like a
Voltron
mug?
thing. Yeah. And I was like, well, thanks guys.
God, I think that's all of our tears.
Yeah,
Let's
just a
be
little bit.
real. Fandom has cried an ocean over this show.
So
let's
shout
talk
out in
about
the chat. I'm sorry, just to interject for a second. # make Slav the Black Paladin. That would be.
Can you
just,
imagine
like,
oval arms in the armor?
Well, it's just the ultimate insult to Shiro because like he is the only person who has managed to like piss Shiro off to the point of like not being able to function.
He's the only one, yeah.
It's a really impressive feat.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. You
Just
gotta,
like,
you gotta
I'm
have some
calling-
gumption.
Like, I'm calm and cool and collected, except for you. So let's actually talk about this gigantic Gundam fight, because in true anime fashion, we have like 4 power upgrades.
Yeah.
And the occasional new challenger entering.
Yeah. I liked all the different like abilities that the armored suit had. Yeah. Like with the shield.
The shield
whips
and
the sword whip.
it's like they've learned from every row beast that they've sent out about the only thing that it didn't do was try to suck Voltron in, and let's be real, that would just get real awkward.
Well, that's something that we really appreciate about this show is that nothing is wasted.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of groundwork laid, and then we get to see it in the finales when we get that payoff.
Yeah, because especially since these guys are supposed to be learning from the fact of these battles, so it's like, well, here's our lesson learned for the end of the season. You know, we actually learned from this.
Yeah,
battle.
we learned a lesson, and then lo and behold, 2 episodes down the line, we still remember that we learned that
Right.
lesson.
Yeah, instead of just like doing it and then forgetting about it. Like
We
8
don't
episodes
have
later.
negative continuity. Negative continuity drives me crazy when it's a story-driven show.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we're lucky with this format, is that we get to tell, you know, a big, giant, sort of serialized story. So, I mean, this was them doing right by the first time they failed at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also have, like, characters learn a lesson and it stays learned. So ask me about Transformers Animated sometimes. In terms of learning lessons.
We have thoughts.
But that's a different show.
But like getting ready to work on this episode, were you guys excited about like getting all of those story payoffs?
For sure. I think, you know, when we go into it, we're just excited to make a show that I think makes people feel, and usually in these sort of situations is when you get to do that the most, because you can't have kind of one of those huge moments like earlier on, if Shiro's missing in episode 7, then what are you gonna do in episode 13? But you know, I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who, and one thing, he won't watch it. Tell him to watch it.
I watched it with my mom. I watched the
do it.
weird one from like the 70s or 80s where there was the old guy with the curly hair and the scarf. And
Even I know not to
I just
start
remember
there.
thinking, this is just like an old guy walking around.
All right, you take your judgments about
Sorry.
Tom Baker out of here.
I'm sorry.
Gallifrey last weekend. I was at a Doctor Who convention.
I appreciate it now,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm still trying.
But continue with your story.
So the thing that I love about it is that it makes you feel for characters that basically arrive and exit in one episode.
Yes, that's very true.
And I've watched so many shows
Lot
that
of
have
Shoes are
kind of
fun.
failed to do that in their run, and so we can't do that every single episode, but we try to at least make people care about these characters. We spent 26 episodes with them at this point.
Yeah.
If people aren't crying about them, we failed.
I mean, for me, it's more like for me, it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love that show.
I love that show too.
But it was great because you could have an episode where like Xander's substitute teacher was like a praying mantis that was like killing kids. It was super cheese, like the worst.
Season 1.
And then you have an amazing episode when like Buffy's mom passes away. And it's just so heart wrenching.
Yeah.
You know, it could. I think we wanted to make a show that could kind of like span that.
Yeah. Did you find that the process of sort of creating the show was different, knowing that you were creating for that Netflix, we're going to drop 13 episodes at a time?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that was a huge part of the fact that we could start planting seeds really early on. Keith's Knife, we knew that from the beginning.
Right.
What was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff I think it's like a storyteller's dream come true.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This show, guys. Being emotionally compromised and trying to get back on track. I'm skipping ahead a little in the battle, but I think the bit that wrecked me the most is Shiro and the Black Lion, and the Bayard part shows up. And that's the part of the episode more than anything else where I just went, oh.
Now, here's the thing. I didn't, when that happened, I was like, that's just unfair.
Just stick your hand in it, it'll work.
A scenario where they could phase through and obtain the Bayard. I thought they were gonna have to go and like literally rip it out of Zarkon's cockpit.
Cold dead hands.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were a Galra ship, it would have just had a handprint pop up. He could have done that.
Yeah.
I wanted him to stick his hand in the thing. Like, do it, just go.
Stupid Altean technology. But yeah, so I thought it was like a horrible if only you had that.
So it was like
that
trolling
really
him. It was like
The Black Lion was
step up.
Trolling him. Meanwhile, it's like slightly under the control of Zarkon. It's just like,
you know what it was? It was like kind of asking your new boyfriend. It was like, hey, could you go buy my ex and like pick up my CDs? That would be great.
And it's just like, well, he used to be able to do this for me, and I need you to step up.
I think he was just kind of telling him like, this is the time. The time is now. Here's your moment. I'm not going to tell you anymore. If you can't figure this out, you don't deserve to be here.
yeah.
And go get my CD.
We're gonna hop on over to the astral plane and pickpocket Zarkon.
Well, sure.
That was so cool, though.
It was
amazing.
But it seems to me that there is sort of this otherworldly connection between past paladins and present paladins.
And from what I'm guessing, only one of the past paladins is still alive, which is why we're only seeing it with Shiro.
Correct.
If we wind up with time travel or surprise, I was down here in cryogenic sleep all along, or I am just a really long-lived species, y'all have like, I'm a Time Lord. You look different. Well, yes, I'm a Time Lord. Like, depending on what we get, if for some crazy godforsaken reason, at least one of the other previous paladins is alive, who knows? We might see that. And I'm pointedly not looking at the couch right now.
Catherine in the chat said hashtag Shiro's force sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
He's fighting Zarkon on the astral plane right now. You know that's where he is.
He may very well be one with the Force right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of chat that it's now no longer Space Dad, but Space Ghost.
That's pretty amazing.
And he's got the right color scheme too. He just has the yellow cape.
Yeah.
Space Ghost Daryl Karan's cape.
Mark
Unless
actually
they hurt me.
Because it's fun.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, Mark actually commented in the chat asking if anybody had noticed if Josh had perhaps added a Space Ghost costume to his Amazon wish list.
Probably did. I don't even know. But I'm fully living on comic book rules here, which is no body, no death. If they can do it with Nova, they can do it with Shiro.
I think we're just hinting that there's a bigger picture
There
with the
is,
lions.
absolutely.
For sure,
Oh,
a bigger
yeah.
picture with the lions.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I want like a spirit world adventure of what's the deal with the lions.
We go into the spirit world to find Shiro. Let's do it.
Again, this is again without kind of relying on the original show where, you know, that character died very early on. Without relying on that, you guys really did a good job of setting up, hey, I might not be around all the time, without actually having to kill off that character, maybe, assuming he's not one with the Force. But with him gone, we already know that there are pieces in place for Keith to step in to be the leader potentially. So I don't know if that's the way it's gonna go, but like, you guys have laid that groundwork.
I'm definitely on board for Grant.
I'm sorry, we previously established that it's going to be Slav. The other popular vote from the chat, Colton Ecker.
Yes.
Oh yes,
That makes sense.
he's already got the color scheme.
Yeah.
I do want to say that shot where the only two lions that you see kind of outside of the lions are the black and the red, and I love those two shots where you're looking outside of the black through the red. You see Keith, and then you see the black lion in the background, and you're looking at Shira, and you see the red.
Oh, is that the one with the floating? Oh, okay.
It's gorgeous.
She did the non-butt magnet scene.
I'm like, it's gone. It's just gone.
Butt magnet.
If it happened yesterday, I don't remember.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, I
It was
apologize.
no pun intended, stellar.
I apologize for missing your name. Asked that, you know, since they do have these butt magnets, as we've established, is not canon. If they're near another magnet, do they risk it?
They repel.
They make sure not to put any, like, credit cards in their back
Yeah.
Or like communication devices, you can't just put those in your pocket.
Well, they're in their helmets. So.
They do put a lot of loose change back there.
Whether they like it or not.
And so Keith's the only one in danger because his head's firmly implanted up his butt.
Wow.
Could be Lance.
Yeah, I think that's Lance.
Lord of mercy.
Good Lord, give me some ice water for that burn. Wow. I have some. We're good.
Yeah, it's just Shiro continually saying, I want you to lead Voltron if anything happens to me. He walked into this the most aware of his own mortality.
Well, I mean, he also was like kidnapped and tormented by the Galra for a while and is like missing an arm.
Hence being the most aware of his own mortality. I mean, everyone else are still in the we're teenagers, we're immortal phase when this starts off, and Shiro's walking into it like, guys, the universe hates us. It's messed up out there, and I can only remember a little of it.
The world is a cruel, dark place.
All of them.
He's got bad guy number one just like on a beeline straight forward.
That's true.
Right.
I've been dumpster diving. It sucks. But
I mean, besides Shiro knowing, I mean, we already knew that Emma knew about that the entire time.
What, that Shiro was gonna some pseudo die? Yeah, because I liked Voltron when I was a kid, and this is what I asked, and I'm not gonna ask you because obviously you guys had a hand in creating this, but it's like any of the voice casts that we've had, and I'm always like, so did you like Voltron when you were young, and do you feel like Shiro's do?
You did ask me that, and I was just like,
he's just in the trans-dimensional hospital, guys.
Dead men be
He'll come back in a season.
What is he hanging
I
out with
don't-
Optimus Prime in that that area that we
yeah,
had?
yeah.
Is he in the realm of trans right now?
Yeah, he's just gonna go Optimus on this, or like it's like Dragon Ball.
heaven.
It's like Dragon Ball Z. He's like on King Kai's planet, just
Yeah.
like training.
He's just hanging out.
He's just got a little halo. He's just training.
Like, as
I
I put it,
sincerely want the clouds to roll in and for him to have a
Yeah,
remember who you are speech.
I want it. I want it so bad.
We're already working with lions.
yeah.
I mean, true.
so it would be Mufasa.
can someone recreate the clouds rolling in, but with the black
Yeah,
lion
it'll
instead
just
of
be,
Mufasa?
and the Black Lion will just have the voice of James Earl Jones.
Entirely possible.
I know the Black Lion is going to be voiced by Cree Summer.
I love her, and I love Hagar.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that like Hagar in that battle with the other druids was crazy.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and again with the reveal that she is in fact an Altean in some way, shape, or form, is that there are two things that I really like about Zarkon and Hagar in this, and that is that without really giving away too much, you guys have given them a tremendous amount of depth. Like, Zarkon in the original series wasn't the character with the obsession. That was a different character who we'll talk about later.
Predictions territory.
But by giving him that one obsession, the Black Line, you've made him exceedingly more interesting. And with Hagar, she sticks by his side, and like she's not always like in the old series. She was just an evil witch, and she liked to cackle and yell at people. And that was the extent of it. But she
kind of what witches do.
Sure, totally reasonable.
That's true. That's what space
Just the
witches
evil
do.
ones.
That's what
What
classic
better to do.
Yeah, switches.
But
Switches. I like
but by making her constantly loyal to him, and then also Altean. And again, we still know nothing about their past or their history, but even just like that look she gives him at the end of the episode when he's like knocked out, she like there is a deep connection there, and we have no details about it.
Nope.
But there's so much that's shown without actually being told. So
I think that's the key. You know, I think we read some early, you know, criticism that like, oh, the bad guys are like your standard kind of mustache twirling bad guys, and we were like we were saying to ourselves, like, I promise there's more. I promise there's
that's
more.
not true.
Like, there's so much just bubbling just beneath the surface, and I think you know you're sort of tapping into it there.
And I thought that the whole sort of way that relationship between Hagar and Zarkon was kind of painted in this season, wherein they kind of have different goals. You know, Hagar's
very
the
much
one
so.
that's like, let's take over the universe.
She's the voice of reason.
Yeah, and Zarkon's like, my lion!
I miss my ex, and she's right there dating another man.
I just want my kitty back.
I mean, he's definitely the addict, and she is like the one that's trying to cure him of his addiction and get his head back on track. But she's so
still
addicted.
I think she's one of my favorite characters. She's incredible.
Yeah.
If he's an addict, though, she's an enabler.
She is.
100%.
I mean, come on.
She's not a good person.
They need like an intervention, like a real deal intervention.
She knows how to keep. It's like I'm right, but you're in charge.
Yeah,
is kind of where she's standing right now. She's like,
yes, and that makes sense because that's why she's like the perfect right hand.
And that's gotta be so frustrating for any right-hand man. Just
There's
like,
a lot of
fine.
that just goes on in the Gala, though. There's a lot of people kind of going behind the scenes. Pro Rock tried it.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
But, you know, Hagar, she's on a higher level, and she does it more on the down.
Was anybody else super sad saying goodbye to Antok?
That's super sad.
Never even saw his face.
I know. That is the second "What is your face" character we've had in like 3 episodes.
It just goes to show you too that like, you know, death can come for you at any moment because he has this moment with Keith earlier in the season where he's like, we're gonna meet again, we're gonna face off, like this is gonna be a thing.
Yup,
and then he just died.
Nope, that was him signing his own death. Like that was it right there. I'm gonna see you later.
We're not gonna have another
Not
confrontation.
really.
He's just gonna cool. Yeah.
He's definitely at King Kai's planet.
No, yeah, just hang on.
Taylor just going, ugh.
I also really enjoyed that, like, once the castle resources were used up, Allura was like, well, we're just gonna go to
take the jet
Zarkon and
skis.
fight.
I love the little castle jet skis. They make me so happy.
Speaking of Star Trek, it felt very Star Trek.
and I liked Allura's staff weapon that she fought with.
That was awesome.
As a person who's like, that's like my weapon of choice with martial arts, I was like, this is amazing.
Listen, it reminded me of like in the video game Star Wars Masters of Terracasi,
Whoa,
where
take it easy. Where
Princess
So you're in a
Leia
room full of
fought
nerds.
With she fought with like a lightsaber staff that was like that. That was very loud.
I think you just broke Alexis. That's my job.
But out of happiness this time.
Oh, right.
But we'd seen the Gladiator, the Altean Gladiator, fight with
The staff. Yeah.
That's true.
And that's clearly like an Altean sort
And that
of
thing was set to, you know, take on kids, and it totally whooped the paladins' butts at the time. So she was like,
Speak softly and carry a big stick.
right.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, she doesn't speak
Doesn't
softly,
speak
but
softly
she,
at all.
no.
I don't think she knows how to do that.
More like this is my boomstick.
She spoke softly to Keith for a moment. She did.
That's true. And I'm so.
She has a heart.
I will say
glad.
that the logistics of storyboarding that sequence, our director Eugene, having people fight on platforms that are, you know,
Moving.
moving around this big, and
Yeah, I think he didn't sleep for a week just boarding that from head to toe.
When you've got so many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Literally.
and then they're fighting on like such a small space. There's not, It's crazy.
It was very video game, but it was
exactly.
really
It
good.
was like a Mario Bros.
Yeah, it was definitely
When
like
the
a...
Voltron video game comes out, that better be in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Smash Bros.
I'm honestly
I'm gonna die so many
expecting
times.
a puzzle game or a dating game before we get a full on.
Someone's going to make a Voltron Otome game. You know they will.
I want it.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
Voltron dating sim.
Wait, but do you play as like you do in an Otome game where
I'm
you're
gonna
just
go
like
with
a
yes.
faceless avatar character?
I'm gonna go with
I
yes.
hate those ones because it makes me feel like you're dating a. Never mind.
A video game character? When they might not be real life humans?
Right. Or is this gonna be like a Fire Emblem situation where like you can see all their faces and you're marrying off the people in your army to each other?
No, I want Sims. That's what I want. I want a Voltron Sims.
You realize Fire Emblem is just violent Sims.
I mean, yeah, I know, but whatever.
Don't put them on my
Wait, you're
dream
insinuating that Sims isn't already violent. It always was when I was playing.
You can
Purposefully violent Sims.
You can
take the
drown
ladder out.
people
It
and
happens.
ruin theme parks. Yeah,
Real-time strategy Sims.
But yeah, I mean, I think that that's part of why I found this episode to be so visually compelling is because you did have like these two awesome battles going on simultaneously. One of which was like this sort of homage to all
things Gundam.
all things mecha anime, and then you had another going on inside that was that like beautiful like platformer video game sequence. I mean, even like a boss fight in Legend of Zelda, sometimes you have to like run around and jump on things, and it was something I connected with.
Yeah.
On sort of a nostalgia level.
And it was multiple characters.
Exactly.
too.
Yeah.
They're, like again, they're like not only is the scenery itself moving, but the characters are pairing off and
It was
There
insane.
was
fantastic.
one point, the music actually got me when we introduced, I almost said Sauron, Sargon.
Wrong one.
Different guy.
Well, he's got an eye and he obsesses with people. Good enough.
Correct.
Cannot get over what he's lost. Someone took it and hid it in a cave for 10,000 years. Anyway.
Whoa.
That was
Whoa, you
impressive.
just blew my
Yeah.
mind.
That was an impressive connection.
And you run the show. Wow, I could. The music
Yes,
when they
that's what we're
introduced
talking
his
about.
mech with just the choir, like we're at one winged angel levels here,
Okay, to
and
be
it's
fair,
incredible.
the music for the entire show is always
So good.
Yeah,
But
Bradbury,
occasionally, I just have
Brian
moments where
Barker's.
it's like, oh, and this was one of them.
So when you guys talk to the composers, do you kind of like give them? Do you guys give them the storyboards, or do you guys give them like a general rundown of like?
We watched the show.
Yeah, we have a spotting session with them, so we'll
Oh,
watch the
nice.
episode and then talk through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it comes at a point where the animation is back. It's not 100% finalized, but it's locked for time. So
Yeah.
timing isn't going to change. They're not going to have to shift score around. We watch it down. You know, we don't. I feel like I'm kind of doing like an Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary when I do it. I'm like, and then the robot comes out.
This part's epic. You gotta watch. This part's epic.
So it's
Yeah.
a big deal.
I'm envisioning a Latin
They're standing
choir.
off, and then they attack, and then they're just like, and then they just go, and then they give us something that's amazing. And they,
Yeah. Occasionally, we'll be like, could you just like give more synths? And
Yeah.
this part? They're like, all right, man. I don't know how many more synths we got.
I like they're
every
I went to a
synth.
scoring session for The Simpsons one time, which was amazing. And it was a similar thing where like the animation was locked for time. It was mostly done, but it wasn't like in its final
Right.
phase. And I actually watched it was the like Lego episode they did of Simpsons. So like some of it was just like
awesome.
grids of Lego characters, and you could just kind of see the outlines. But it was such a cool process because I just like sat in and they had like a whole orchestra there, and the woman playing the harp like played harp for Little Mermaid. And
I will say we are absolutely not on that level. Like no orchestras are sitting around. It's
have
four of
laptops.
us.
Right.
Yeah, they have laptops.
But that's,
Bands.
what makes you guys so awesome. Is that you don't need a giant amount of people. You guys can work with a
Yeah.
small
Sure.
group.
We,
you
yeah,
know?
we also came up in the time when like music was going from orchestra to the
absolutely,
artificial,
absolutely.
like, computer generated, and people kept trying to go for that very orchestral sound, but it hadn't quite gotten there yet. So we
Yeah.
both have this kind of like weird fear of orchestral music coming out of a computer. It's made like leaps and bounds now, and now it sounds incredible.
It's hard to tell the difference now.
But it really
We
is.
still have this like weird fear, and we're like, let's not even do that. Like, we're wanting to
Embrace the
embrace the
computer.
sci-fi,
Yeah, embrace the sci-fi,
the
yeah.
fun, go with that full retro.
And for me, I grew up going to like warehouse and renting VHS tapes, and all the films that I rented, all their soundtracks were like synth soundtracks.
Yeah.
So it's sort of that era of,
We're
of
just
music.
shoving our childhood
Yeah.
into the show.
And it's much appreciated.
Yeah, please do it.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
I mean, that's what Go Lion was, you
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
Well, and I legit thought you had a full-on orchestra and choir for that moment.
wow.
Like, that was great.
Right on.
Yeah, that's all due to Brad and Brian for just doing an incredible job.
Yeah.
Well, orchestra and choir is really good for that. Oh, we're all gonna die moment. Again, we're going.
That's
Final
the cool
Fantasy
thing too,
VII,
though, is to
One-Winged
switch
Angel.
over when you're usually in that like
Yeah.
you're in that synth land for a while, and then it goes orchestral, and you're like,
Yeah.
things just got
Yeah.
serious.
Are we going to get a soundtrack release for the series?
There is one for season
first
for the
season.
first
One-
season.
I have it on Spotify.
Yeah, there you go.
And then
There you go.
Do we know when season 2 will drop?
No idea. I think we're just kind of hoping that
Fingers crossed.
it happens.
Because I need it. Because that's when I'm playing video games. That's the soundtrack I'm listening to.
Right.
Playing
I have a
Destiny.
confession to make.
Playing Destiny to the Voltron soundtrack is fantastic. Just saying.
I have a confession. Sometimes when I'm having trouble getting out of bed, I play the formation.
form
So it's perfect.
Yeah, that's my alarm.
And is it just
That's a
me,
good
or
one.
did that particular piece of music change the last time they did it in this episode?
Yeah, it did sound a little bit.
It's more triumphant.
So every episode,
emphasis.
it's usually a little tweaked.
Really?
Yeah, because they're. I mean, we have one big long cut, but
Right.
oftentimes we cut it down and use little pieces, so they have to, manipulate the main. Yeah, the main.
That's really cool.
And sometimes we just ask for something like even more epic if we know what's following is going
Right.
to be a huge thing. So it's like, and then just bring this way up.
Yeah.
That's how I talk like music. I'm just like, bring it up.
Yeah.
That's music talk, right?
More cowbell.
Yeah, one of the things that
Pretty much.
one of the things we've talked about on this show that we really like about the series is that it's like the solution for each episode isn't form Voltron. You know what I mean? Like it's fun that there's more storytelling than that kind of formulaic. Okay, we have a monster of the week and we form Voltron and we win.
But I never get tired of the formation sequence.
Oh no, not at all. No, that's like I can watch
Ever.
I can watch the transformation sequences in Sailor Moon like on an endless loop.
Yeah.
I love a good
those are
transformation
amazing.
sequence.
Every time you notice something new in the Voltron
Yeah.
sequence, every time it's like, oh, look at the detail. Oh, look at that. It does that. Dang.
It's incredible. And the amount of work that went into it. Suckjin, one of our artists at Studio Mir, boarded it. It went through an internal pass here, like Yumi, Ryu, we all did a little bit. Christine ended up, designing a ton of those interior shots because they're not in the CG.
Yeah, that's not
And
CG. It's
so
all
that's
just traditionally
her
animated.
Designing it, sent it over to Mir. They made it happen. It's crazy. The process. That transformation sequence actually had its own budget.
Yeah. Its own production pipeline. It was separate from the show. Yeah.
Totally fine with that.
It makes sense. I mean, you have an asset that you're going to be using on a consistent basis. It makes sense to kind of give it its own pipeline and its own little separate allocation of funds.
We kept making this joke when we first saw it, and I'm gonna ruin it for you because you're not gonna be able to unsee it when I tell you.
Oh, we do this all
But
the time.
his face comes to camera, and then the thing splits open, and we always when he came to camera, we went like, huh? What? He's like, I can't hear you.
Did you say something?
Did you say something? Now, whenever you see it, you're gonna hear.
Wait, is Voltron Space Grandpa?
Yeah. Huh?
He's like 10,000 years old. He's been asleep. He
sounds like my Uncle PJ's grandpa. It's weird.
We already have your Uncle PJ on a different show.
No, for real. I thought it was just like, what'd you say, Alex? What did you say?
Just so you guys know,
Uncle PJ.
Yeah. But so you guys know, for future editing of the Voltron transformation sequence, Chica Knight in the chat feels personally offended anytime there's a transformation and we don't see the Green Lion roar. So,
Wow. All right. We'll do our best.
Good to know. So, yeah. Yeah. Somebody somebody's got to do something.
I thought we had a new doorbell. And I was like,
Yep, my bad.
That's not the usual. You're over time. Get out of the studio effect.
We changed
Speaking of which, Mark, if you could give me an update on how much we got left, that would be fantastic.
I was like, I gotta get out.
The
And in the
fans,
meantime-
the fans want to hear us talk about the final moments of the episode, so I think it's a good time to transition.
She's been waiting to do this.
The fans want to hear us talk about
Shocker.
lying there and crying. All right. I think actually, remind me, I don't remember my reaction though the first time we watched this, but we marathoned this together. I think when we opened up to an empty cockpit, I just kind of laughed maniacally for a while.
So you, Katie.
So appreciate
That is how
I deal
I don't
with
think
trauma.
that's the moment that Mark's talking about.
That is, in fact, not the moment I'm talking
Wow.
about.
It's the moment
Two
after the moment.
distinct endings
Okay,
of this
but the
episode.
reaction was the same for both
Are
of
we
them.
talking about Hagar?
Yes.
Oh. I thought we were talking about, like, after they look at the chair and they're like, he's gone, and then Shiro's like, no, I just went to the bathroom.
That's
Is that not in? Or did that get cut out?
Director's
Oh.
cut. Director's
Sorry,
cut.
guys, I just really needed to pee. It was a long space.
I feel like you guys are
twice.
harboring a blooper reel that we don't know pull clips like
he
that.
got jostled and he's just magneted to a different
His butt magnets.
He's
up top.
Butt stuck to the ceiling.
Can you imagine he's just hanging there?
He's just hanging around.
Aw.
Is there any way that we will get a blooper reel, special content, anything on a DVD release on
the
YouTube,
YouTube page?
on
We'd love to.
anything?
You can get a whole lot of us telling you stuff that, stupid things, that jokes we pitch, but the
I'm
thing with
down.
animation is we don't usually animate stuff that isn't going to get used.
That's
Yeah.
So
true.
it's
That
like
makes sense.
we have to animate
They
a blooper
probably
reel.
have a lot of footage or a lot of audio footage of us just in the booth
Yeah.
Oh,
making
yeah.
stupid
That is
jokes and
there,
fart
for
noises.
sure.
and-
I want it.
Whenever that happens,
I
we'll
don't need a
say,
visual.
pull that. Pull that. So we do have a file of just crazy
Right.
sort of outtakes.
My kingdom for your
So many
outtake
outtakes.
file. I'm not actually kidding.
Please just put a thumbnail on it, upload it to
There'll be
YouTube
so
to
much
have your
Tyler and Josh, you have no idea.
Reese. The
No
first
regrets?
time
Obviously Reese.
went in the booth and he's just like, I can't hear myself. I gotta turn and he's like turning
just start
knobs
laughing.
and he's just saying normal things and we're like giggling because his voice is so hilarious to us. And then I feel bad because he's probably like, I'm
His-
serious. I'm like,
Reese's ability to just sort of bail on a line when he knows it's going south. He'll be like,
oh,
Princess Elora, you gotta. He just like
oh, I messed up that day.
so awesome.
So good.
I really, honestly, sincerely need this.
I really
Anyway,
we should.
but
Sorry.
the Shiro disappearing thing, for me, that was actually kind of like a moment of relief. I was like, oh, cool. So he's not necessarily absolutely dead.
Nobody, no
Yeah.
death, nobody, no
I
death,
was
nobody,
like,
no
oh,
death.
thank goodness.
Yes, I know.
Because I believe I don't know if I mentioned this when you were on, but my older brother texted me when he was binging because he got through it before I did, and he was like, I have 2 episodes left. Shiro is a dead man. All in caps, and I was like, I was like, I'd be surprised if he wasn't. So I was surprised.
Mark left a
Somehow-
note that said, if I may.
If I may.
Go for it. You
Not
may.
only is there no body, but there was no blood, which I
Yeah.
think is
Yeah.
even more interesting.
Yeah.
But the Bayard's still there. It worked that hard to get it back and then just kind of left it.
Yeah, I mean, I pitched
I'm
a
so
blood-covered, like, guts-filled cockpit, but DreamWorks was like, we don't know if we can do that.
This is still meant for children.
I think
And then I was like, well, what about just like a withered, like, husk of a body? And they're like,
Just one
Space
eyeball.
Dad, Space Mummy.
we're like, can he disappear? Yeah, that's fine.
Why? We talked about Raisin Shiro. I mean, that's just kind
Space Mummy.
of Space Mummy.
Instead of Space Dad, Space Mummy.
Oh! I like you. Can you come back like forever?
I'd like to.
like no.
See, no, that's what they pitched.
Yeah, that's
For those of you listening on iTunes,
Conclusive
Alexis
death.
definitely mimed getting stabbed and
she mimed seppuku. I did.
and then blood everywhere.
But yeah,
No body, no death. He's on the astral plane fighting Zarkon somewhere. Zarkon just got to stick around.
I will bring it back to this.
I know you ship it, but
Obviously.
who doesn't?
can we
The
talk
one
about it?
ship
Can
we
we
can
talk
all
about
agree
it?
on. Go!
Oh my gosh.
You have permission.
Be free.
Take it, Green Lion.
My only thing is, I wish
not.
that we had sent Mark. I wish we'd given you an
Oh
image
my-
of this character to put up during the show.
What is it?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
on
no.
it right now. On it.
Prince Lotor in the old version. Take it, Megan.
Okay,
seen the old
so
version.
Oh, yeah?
The old Lotor. I haven't seen the old
so
Lotor.
this is.
Oh, you about to get
Wait,
educated.
you're gonna love it. Wait.
I'm so excited.
Oh, that's right. You didn't watch the old Voltron
Yeah.
at all. Okay, well now.
Beautiful.
I like the new one too much to go back
Yeah.
to
I
the old
think
one now.
maybe 15
good if
you're
or
drinking.
so.
You've got a bit of an
yes.
axe
So,
thing
guys,
going on.
And the long white hair.
ladies.
This makes me so happy.
So I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
I was insanely invested in the will Prince Lotor like become a redeemed character because he was in love with the princess. He doesn't. Spoiler alert. He is exceedingly shallow, had a one-note personality of like he wanted power, so he occasionally hated his dad.
Yeah.
He yelled at Hagar, and he wanted to marry Princess Allura or kill her when she was like, no, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
So could not take no for an answer. That was literally the only character trait he had.
So here's my favorite thing about fandom. Did you have more?
No, I have lots more. But
my favorite thing.
Megan's like, I actually wrote my college thesis on
Well, you were a media studies person. No, my favorite thing is that the fandom has just taken this and run with it, and the biggest ship that I've seen with Lotor has been Lance and Lotor, and they're calling it Lancelot.
I love that
I was fond of Glance as a ship name because it was hilarious, but Lancelot just kills me.
man.
That's amazing. God bless ship names that are actually something else as well.
That's so great.
Like, I love those.
Okay, continue.
Like, do I ship
what
it?
I'm
No. Do I
excited
think it's funny?
about,
Yes.
What I'm excited about is, first of all, we know that Hagar is Altean. She has white hair.
Yep.
And looking at his old character design, he was like the only Galra with hair at all. Which was
Some Galra are just furry.
So I feel like he's half Altean. And given what you guys did with Zarkon, again, he was infinitely more interesting than he was in the previous series. I am looking forward to seeing what you do, whether he's a full-on villain, if he's a sympathetic character, if he's an evil guy with some interesting depth to him. And that's the thing, is I'm really excited about this because he's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Um,
I'm
No,
jazzed
he's
on it
boring.
too.
I'm just
Total snoozer.
She didn't get the gory cockpit, but she got the boring
Yeah.
Lotor.
I was like, he's gotta be one note. He's gotta just be creepily in love with Allura, and that is it.
awkward.
Yeah, Lauren decided he's just the exact same character from the old show, just to throw you for a loop.
And everyone just looks at him like, is this guy for real?
His character design's the
For
same.
real, FUR.
Yeah, I'll go
If there's
with
not
that.
fringe, I'm not in.
I really want him to propose a marriage of political alliance to Allura. Like, that's what I want. Like, we'll go for the marriage, but let's stop this war. We'll unite our forces via marriage, and then everyone else just kind of be like, what?
I would say something even further than that. What if he wants to perpetuate the species?
Oh, yeah. If he's half Altean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love arranged marriage plotlines, though.
Yeah.
I really do.
And I think they're
I think
fantastic.
it would be interesting if they were childhood friends.
Oh.
What are you doing to me, Megan? Stop it.
How old is everybody?
Yeah, I mean,
They
What
have
if
been
you go
extracting
full-
planet juice like vampires.
Fair.
There you go.
Fair.
Gonna do you one up, go full Tenchi Muyo. What if they're sister and brother?
Oh, that thought did cross my mind as well.
Okay, again, yeah.
It did.
That's
I'd be
just
okay
gonna
with
be
this.
done.
I want it.
Because I think, was it last episode that we were talking about this? Like, the incident that broke up the original Voltron?
Yes.
We
Where
were
a
talking
love
about
triangle could
inciting
be
incident.
part of it, but
I
it wouldn't
wanna
be the
know.
whole
No,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I need is an Ember Island Players episode that is just like the past of like how the history of Voltron,
I'm okay
the
with
robot.
Yeah.
There are no words for how much I want this.
Yeah.
You do, yeah, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Literally the legend of Voltron.
All right, we are getting the short on time moment. Do we have the iTunes reviews pulled up? Just
Yeah, I do.
rattle
but I
off the
have
names
so
of
many
all your
theories.
wonderful people
Yeah, thank
who
you,
have
guys.
kept us on the air. Thank you for reviewing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving
Yeah.
the ratings. When you do that, you keep us on the air as an after show, and you help our ratings in the iTunes search system. So when people search for Voltron, we come a little further up the ranks. Who do we have?
I was going to say, I think that iTunes has sorted itself out now and everything is back to actually being in chronological order. It was having
nice.
issues last week. So I'm just going to be safe and shout out everybody who's left a review since February 16th. So we have Puppet Master 55, That Chip Guy, Saka Doggy, Tom Preston, and Felix Phelps. Thanks, guys.
Now, please continue to review over the hiatus if you haven't. We'll still be here. We'll still be on Twitter. We'll be happy to talk with you. We are coming back in September? Unconfirmed?
I don't know.
And maybe 6 seasons. Also unconfirmed.
confirmed.
Question mark.
Lots of them.
6 seasons in a movie.
We need to repurpose that hashtag. Community had their heyday, it's our turn.
Dibs.
Well, Lionsgate has Voltron movie rights, don't they?
But they only had the live action
Live
one,
action.
though.
Yeah, still a movie.
How about a Broadway show?
Voltron the musical.
We have Josh and we have Jeremy and everybody else, I'm sure.
Also,
Well, we've at least got 2 boy band members.
yeah. Also, in Japan, there are many musical adaptations of many anime series. There's about 25 Sailor Moon musicals. So why can't
Death Note musical is amazing.
Bex, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no,
Please,
I'll send it to you.
Please. No, like, for real. Guys, we'll talk about this later.
Sorry. But anyway, all I'm saying is, like, why can't we just get one Voltron musical?
I'm down.
At least a
I want it.
musical episode.
Yeah.
Can we have a musical episode? Can we do it?
I left the form in my car, but yes, I would like to formally submit a request for a musical episode.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, Neil's already shown us that he can do it. So. Things I will never get over is Archon karaoke.
Oh god.
Best thing ever.
Yeah, so let's swing into some real quick predictions here.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Is that not what
The
we've been doing
quickest
for
of
like
predictions.
5 minutes?
Kind of. I mean, we have Lotor.
But now it's official.
Where in the world is Shiro San Diego?
Yep.
I want to play that game.
Me too.
And Prince Lotor is going to be in the next season. Nailed it!
Where do we think Keith's parents is? Who is the mysterious masked person who was
A
in
lot
the
of people-
stomach of a woman?
I will bring it up. Some
What about a
some
stomach of a
people
worm?
thought that might have been
What
Prince
about a mask in the
Lotor.
stomach of a worm?
Oh, in the
Yeah.
belly of the Weblum, that other Galra.
I'm gonna go
Took me
ahead
a
and
minute. Gotcha.
disagree with that theory because some people were speculating that person was in fact Prince Lotor.
I just keep him in cold storage in a planet-destroying monster.
I feel like
Maybe.
this doesn't make sense because like I feel like they know where he is at all
Oh, yeah.
times, and I really also want that mysterious masked figure to be a lady.
You are going to keep a child leash on the crown prince of the empire.
It's so hard to
just
tell
in
with the
case.
Galra, though. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
tell by shape.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think they
Something wrong with that.
subscribe to gender binary, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
they might not.
There was at one point a line in the script that said, Galra men look a lot like the women.
And their women look a lot like the men.
So they're like Lord of the Rings dwarves?
Yeah,
That was the joke. All right, you guys, that's pretty much all the time we have for this episode and this season. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Are you working on any projects that you can tell us about?
Amazing.
Awesome.
Stupid NDA.
Where dang it?
Animation, especially.
I knew.
We're still employed by DreamWorks?
That's good.
For now.
That's good.
I'm working on trying to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The unconfirmed seasons
Yeah.
3 through 6.
I've got a remodel of my kitchen floor that I'm working on.
That's
Coming
a
up
project.
soon.
Yeah.
And where can the people go online if they want to keep up with you?
Oh, jeez, I don't even know. I don't even know my. I do. I don't even know what it is.
JDS 24/7,
I don't know.
or it's either 24/7
Sure.
or 365. He's only got
Or
2.
that's somebody else.
Or Waka,
Google it.
Joaquim.
I don't know.
You can just type it in
Good
and
luck.
find it.
Have fun.
People on Tumblr found y'all's Tumblrs before I could.
There you go.
No, for real.
I'm the best Lauren Montgomery because there's a lot of Lauren Montgomerys out there. But you know, I'm the best.
The best.
So F you guys.
No,
Just like
correct.
that.
Wow.
And then
Line in the sand.
also Twitter, Art of Lauren M, because apparently the best of Lauren Montgomery doesn't fit in Twitter. It's a little long. I've got a bit of a long name.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
Nice.
Ibex Webex on Twitter, Bex_TK on Instagram, and I can never remember what my Tumblr is.
But it
it's,
exists.
it exists. You can find me. It's a simple one. It's
Yeah,
BexTK in
search
some
Bex.
iteration.
You'll find
Yeah.
All right, well,
Apparently, there's an underwear model named Bex Taylor on Tumblr, and it weirds me out. And I always get like the wrong tags. It gets uncomfortable.
I can relate. There happens to be a porn star named Megan Salinas.
Awesome.
Porn too?
I think she's long since retired. This was in my college days. It was when
that's even
Google
better,
was
though.
like a new thing. And I had a friend, he's like, let's Google everyone's names. And then, whoa, what is this?
And in the last few minutes of this after show, we play porn star same name bingo. Emma, where can the people find you?
At my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. That's it.
You guys can find me all over social media at atorres890. That's ATORRES890. If you want the non-porn star makeup, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for the movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. And episode 2 of The Shadow Remastered is up. Go check that out on YouTube.
That is a Bex-approved Twitter there.
Yeah.
And I am on all of the social medias as Kiaxet, Kiaxet, also on YouTube if you like reaction videos. Yeah, I also kind of live on Gather Your Party on Friday nights on Geek and Sundry, and Star Wars Rebels is back on Sundays. Thank you guys once again for coming, and it has been a blast. Thank you to everyone who has stuck with us this season, who has sent us art and all sorts of other fun things and photoshops and made drinking games, and just y'all are amazing human beings, and we love you. Thank you so much, and should next season come around, we will see you then.
Bye, guys!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I'm bonding with you!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.